Student is in trouble for bringing a gun to school today. Winston-Salem Police Department officials confirm an officer confiscated a gun at Mineral Springs Elementary School this afternoon. District officials say it was reported that a student may have had a weapon. A search revealed the gun was not loaded and it was an older gun that didn't function. Officials stressed that at no time did they feel students were in danger. This now makes 7 guns found on a school campus in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District.
The FDA authorized Pfizer's COVID vaccines for children ages 5 to 11. The vote came down this afternoon following an endorsement from an FDA panel. Doses given to children are only 1/3 of the amount given to teens and adults. Pfizer plans to begin shipping millions of vials to doctors' offices, pharmacies, and other vaccine locations. Kids will get 2 shots 3 weeks apart. Next week, advisors to the CDC will meet over the child vaccines.
We're tracking data. We circled the latest percent positive for Guilford County, 2.2%. We haven't seen a number this low since mid-July. Now, pay attention to the red dotted line, which is the county's goal of 5%. County leaders want this number to stay below the line for 3 consecutive weeks to lift the mask mandate. Today is the 5th day in a row we've been below 5%.
The daycare dilemma is a hot topic these days, with the talk of universal preschool in President Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan and the more than $805 million in grants for child care centers in North Carolina. But is it enough? As parents struggle to find quality, affordable daycares that have slots open, centers want to keep staff and pay them well.
Have always wanted a child, and we were really excited.
Savannah and Timothy Regan welcomed a baby boy, Owen, almost a year ago. Their decision to start a family centered around finances. The Greensboro couple thought they were ready.
I question if I should have gone to school to become a doctor. It's hard.
Regan says as they were looking for childcare, the minimum was $200 a week and the most expensive $1,300 a month. Their daycare, 20 minutes away. She says it was the best option they could find for their wallets and that had a spot open.
A lot of our parents are paying more money to come here than they're paying in their mortgage or their rent every month. And that's just unfathomable.
Meredith Caston is the director of the Early Childhood Center in Greensboro. She says it's a difficult balance to keep rates down but pay staff what they deserve.
People are overworked. People are stressed out.
Caston's grateful the daycare dilemma has come to the forefront with the stabilization grants in North Carolina and possible universal preschool. But she thinks more needs to be done.
What do you do for infant and toddler care? That's the most expensive.
A question that continues to be on Regan's mind as her family plans for the future.
Right now, I can't imagine paying for 2 or 3 children in daycare. That would completely take my entire salary away, if not more.
And like I mentioned, the state is working to provide grants to different child care centers across the state. Governor Roy Cooper was actually in Walkertown yesterday to kind of highlight those grants. And I think that they are due, the applications are due this weekend. So daycares need to get that done. But gosh, when I saw on paper how much I'd be paying a week for daycare, whew.
I mean, a lot of people, I think the average, if you nail it down, is somewhere around at $900
wow.
A month for that, and to $1,000. But yeah, as you said in that story, $1,300. I mean, that's like a townhome payment for a lot of people, or a house payment.
As much as rent. And imagine what you could be doing with that money. Say if you're a parent, you want to go back to school or something like that, but you might not be able to do that because you're paying for that child care that you need, especially if you work. I know both of my parents worked, so I went to daycare.
Yeah, well, an issue that mom brought up, Savannah, she said she has a lot of friends. They had to quit their jobs because they couldn't afford daycare, so they had to be stay-at-home moms to help save money.
I just remember when I had my twins, you had 2 at one time, so it's double the amount for the exact same amount of time. I mean, it was expensive.
Imagine those households that have like 5 or 6 kids.
Man, all in that same age range, yeah.
No. Other aspects of the president's spending plan include money for an extended child tax credit and affordable housing. A $500 billion investment would go towards climate change. The White House says the plan will be partially funded through taxes on the wealthiest corporations and people. President Biden continues economic discussions during his diplomatic trip to Europe. Rome hosts Saturday's G20 summit, where President Biden will discuss issues such as corporate tax changes. G20 leaders are expected to sign off on a global corporate tax rate.
Countries have lost the ability to gain meaningful revenue from taxing very successful corporations, and more of the burden has been placed on workers.
136 countries have agreed to a minimum 15% tax on corporations.
There are only a few days left to complete a rent relief application in Greensboro if you need it. The city of Greensboro will close its rent relief program Sunday to process nearly 1,300 applications already in the system. Renewals of past assistance will still be processed. If you live in the city of Greensboro and still need rent help, you can apply to Guilford County's rental assistance program. And we do have more information about that on our website. And now to an update on a story in Eden. A man wanted in a shooting investigation has been arrested. Eden police are investigating a fight that started actually between two high school girls, then turned into a family shootout. Police say two high school girls got into a fight earlier yesterday. Later in the evening, the two recruited friends and family to help get what officials called acts of revenge.
The two groups organized a meeting location where multiple cars full of people showed up and waited. One of the cars did not park but kept driving into Eden. That's when the other vehicles followed in the car and started shooting.
Eden police responded to the intersection of South Hamilton and Bridge Streets. Officers were on the way when two more calls came in near Taylor Street and another for a victim with a gunshot wound to the face at J and Patrick Streets.
The victim's injuries were minor and did not show signs of a direct shooting to the face. Arrest warrants were obtained for 19-year-old Destiny Blake Cardwell and Carrie Denzel Myers. Just moments ago, Eden police told us Myers has been arrested without incident. The two girls who started the fight will not be identified because of their age. If you have any information, call Rockingham County Crime Stoppers.
All right, we're talking about weather. Finally, we're seeing some of the rain leave. Now, we still have a slight chance for the next 24 hours or so, but once we get to Halloween, the actual day on Sunday, we're looking pretty good. Might be a little bit cool, though, so if you have costumes that lend themselves to being hot, you may be in good shape on Halloween evening. 62 in Greensboro right now. High Point's up to 63 along with Lexington. We're dropping down, though, back in the west. Wilkesboro 59, Galax at 53, Reidsville's at 67 right now. Pretty comfortable there. 46 for that low tonight. Still a chance of a stray shower. That's today. Tomorrow, just a spotty chance. Don't expect anything significant on Saturday, but we'll watch for that. The high tomorrow is 60 degrees, so a little bit on the cool side. Yeah, here it is. A low pressure center back up to the north and west, and all this moisture wrapping around that system. We're kind of caught in the middle of all this, but it is slowly lifting back up to the north and to the east. So watch for these spotty showers. They can happen at any time. Right now, mostly northern Randolph County and Davidson County and parts of Yadkin and Forsyth as well. Here's why. That low pressure, of course, would be windy around that system, by the way. Notice how the mountains kind of eat away the precipitation. A lot of that won't make it over the mountains. It kind of gets squeezed out on the other side. And for us, that means that we end up with a decent second half to the weekend for sure. If you look at tomorrow, we're that 60-degree temperature with only a 20% chance of an isolated shower or two. Halloween, 65 and sunshine. Then Monday, Tuesday, it's sunny, still low to mid 60s, but we get cool next week, folks. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rain chances in the mid to upper 50s for highs and low 40s by Friday morning. All right, so the Tanger Center is providing us with some top-notch entertainment. Every few weeks, it seems like we're getting another Broadway production and some other ones sprinkled in there too, not Broadway. But that life on the road for these folks, that is not easy. I spoke with Ryan Farnsworth, who has a principal role in the upcoming Carole King story called Beautiful, about how difficult that life can be.
The majority of our tour is going to be short engagements, 3 days or fewer. And in those cases, it's almost a lot of just flying by the seat of your pants. You just sort of what's close. Sometimes you get into a place, you have to tech the show, sort of drop your bags off, make sure you sound good, see where everything is, especially in the theaters that can change sizes. You know, what changes do we have to make? And then you have to get yourself ready to do the show. And in a lot of ways, it can be difficult, but I always take it on as kind of an exciting challenge.
You know, these shows can keep an actor on the road for months at a time, in some cases even up to a year or more, but he says it's part of the job and there are some breaks.
you miss out on things that are important, weddings, funerals, getting to see some of your family grow up. And that is an unfortunate aspect of it, but it's so much nicer now with technology. You can connect with your family, via Zoom. And I think before it probably was a lot harder than it is now. And you try to, if you've got little moments. We've got a couple of weeks where we can sort of get away from the show and recharge our batteries and try to take advantage of that to see the people you don't get to see all the time.
I didn't have time to show all of this, but one question I asked him was, I said, if you do this show, and sometimes you're doing it 2 times a day, right? They'll do a matinee Saturday and evening, Saturday, Sunday, same thing, usually a Thursday and Friday shows as well. I said, do you ever just do it so much that you forget a line because it's almost just too easy? He said, absolutely, it happens once in a while. And he said, but all of us in the show have been doing it so long that we don't just know our lines, we know everybody else's. So he said, we know how to do the conversation and steer it back so you'll remember what you should have said. He said, of course, afterwards we give each other a really hard time.
I bet. That's funny. I never knew that they could do that.
Yeah. And when he said that they miss like lots of events and different things like that, it almost made me kind of think of news, because we have those 4 months out of the year
exactly where my
that
mind
we can't
went,
take
yes.
off, and this is a type of show business if you think about it.
Yeah, and we travel a lot to do different stories, especially our reporters. I mean, it's not as far-fetched as these guys, but it's still very similar.
Well, they've become somewhat of a family. He said because if you think about it, they stay together almost 24/7 the entire time they're on the road. So, and some of these, by the way, he said the lead that plays Carole King, can't remember her name, but he said her and one of the other principal female roles were in the original Broadway production.
Oh,
so
wow.
we're lucky that we get them, and he's been in this show twice.
I bet that is an amazing opportunity and experience to say that he gets to work with those folks.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
then
wait
we
to
get to see them. If you're going to the show, you'll get to see them.
Yeah, make sure you get your ticket. You already have yours, right?
Mine's done. I'm in. Oh, by the way, in the next half hour when we talk to him again, he's going to tell us a little bit about the play itself and stuff that honestly I had no idea about Carole King that you'll be surprised. Wait till you hear this.
Looking forward to it. We'll be right back after this break.
Hello, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check.
TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday, my favorite day of the week. So the weather may have started off dreary today, but...
Yeah, but it's lightened up a little bit just in time for Friday football fever. WFNY News 2's Amanda Ferguson joining us now live from Northern Guilford for our game of the week against Grimley High School.
Amanda, why is this such a big deal?
Well, Lauren and Stacy, this is a big matchup because Northern Guilford and Grimsley coming into this game both unbeaten, the only two teams unbeaten in the entire state. The Whirlies and Nighthawks come into this game 9-0 on the season. Now the defending champions Grimsley continues to be the powerhouse it was last season. The Whirlies rolling past their opponents. They beat their last one by 30 points. But wait. Northern Guilford has been doing the same this year. The Nighthawks won their last game by 51 points. 51. Two teams who are playing some great football, but one of them has to lose tonight. Now, coming up in about an hour, we're going to talk to Northern Guilford's head coach, Eric Westberg, and he's going to tell me his plan of how he plans to be the team that stays unbeaten. I can't wait to see this matchup. Everybody in the Triad is probably wondering what is going to happen. If you want to know and you can't make it to this game, join us on WFNY News 2 at 11. We'll have all the highlights plus others throughout the Triad.
All right. Well, thank you, Amanda. Be sure to tune in for Friday Football Fever with WFNY News 2 Sports at 11. We'll be right back. You've probably heard the proverb, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. In today's U-Day moment, Coach Lamont shares a similar sentiment as he tells a story about two neighbors.
A wise man recently moved into a beautiful home with a huge orchard. A mean and envious man lived next door and constantly tried to make his new neighbor as miserable as possible. He would throw garbage over the fence and make loud noises all throughout the day. Well, one day the wise man looked out of his window and noticed tons of garbage thrown in his yard. The man took a bucket and cleaned up the debris. He then carried a bucket and went to speak with the mean and envious neighbor. The neighbor heard a knock at the door and joyfully thought, "I have finally got him." He answered the door ready for a fight. However, the wise man gave him a bucket of freshly picked apples, saying, "The one who is rich in something shares it with others." My friend, they may throw garbage at you, but you got fruit. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Always with the powerful message. This kind of reminds me of the time I was in a situation where I was working with a group of others, and I felt like, some people weren't really pulling their weight, and it was making me kind of frustrated. And a mentor of mine actually said you catch more flies with honey, meaning you can't be snappy even if you're frustrated. You kind of have to go along to get along sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's something that my wife and I talk about a lot. My wife is direct and to the point, right? And
Yeah.
and she's from Buffalo, New York, so that's why. And then with me, she's always said, she goes, you just like pour honey all over all of it. And I'm like, well, that's what I was taught. That's kind of what my mom always said. That saying was something that we would say in our house. That if you're nicer to people, you usually can get things done in a nice way and no confrontation. And Lauren, we are not confrontational people, the three of us.
We are not confrontational.
Me neither. My mom always said, it wasn't the saying, she always said, kill them with kindness.
Yes.
So
that's the
what
same
I was taught.
thing.
Yeah.
Kill them with kindness. And
Although, the flip side of that is that Southerners are really good at backhanded compliments,
Bless their heart.
That nice nasty.
Nice nasty. I haven't heard that. I like that.
I heard some one time when I was a relative of ours lived in southern New Jersey, and I went up there and they said, man, you Southerners are really good at saying something nice, but you're not quite sure how to take it. And I said, yeah. I said, when you leave the room, then run back in real quick and you'll see them start talking.
Yep.
So funny.
Oh my goodness. Well, we do want to get to some breaking news for you. West Wendover Avenue eastbound is blocked from West Market Street to West Friendly Avenue while Greensboro police investigate a shooting. Police say it happened just after 3. One person was taken to a local hospital. We have no word on their injuries. The road is expected to be closed until further notice, so you may want to plan a different route on your way home this evening. This is a developing story, and as soon as we learn more information, we will update you on air and online on WFMYnews2.com. We'll be right back. Well, let's top off your positivity tank and start your weekend on a good note. WFMY News 2's Megan Valeris makes it her mission every week to find all the blessings bringing joy to you.
It's my favorite time of week. I know you're busy, but take the next couple of minutes to just sit back, relax, and do a little reflection on life's many blessings. I asked you on my Facebook page, Megan Malaris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently.
Valerie went on vacation with her grandchildren to Myrtle Beach. Angie just rebooked her anniversary cruise that was canceled last year due to COVID. Bahamas, here they come. Jessica got her business license to make her hobby profitable. She's so excited. Janet's daughter got married on October 16th. She said it was a beautiful, perfect wedding weekend. Tammy celebrated another birthday this week and feels truly thankful. Rose's daughter Terry got engaged to an awesome man, Anthony. She's so happy for them. Robin and her son started new jobs on the same day. She feels God is faithful. Gay's grandson spent the night and she received good news from a mammogram. Sandra reconnected with an old friend, and Dana opened her eyes to another beautiful day and saw wonderful and amazing family and friends.
Who's leading off?
You have all the good news lately.
Well, I just want to brag on my husband for a minute.
Aw,
okay, y'all all know that I had a dog that passed away in the past couple of weeks, and one day this week I came home and I just kind of had not a bad day, but I really missed Baylor that day, and he surprised me with an early Christmas gift, and it was a printout of my dog Minnie, and I just boo-hooed.
Oh wow, that's cool.
so sweet.
He knew I needed that little uplift, even though I cried.
Brownie points, husband.
Yeah, no
Brownie
kidding.
points.
You know what else? She showed me pictures. He's been like working on the Halloween costume for Baylor. He's been doing that at home, making these little bumblebees and everything. He's something else.
The roles are reversed here.
You gotta
Apparently at a bar in Roanoke.
Okay.
So.
Maybe I need to drive up to Roanoke then.
At the Jake store. That's where you go. To get that. So I guess for me, it's tonight because the Northern Guilford Elementary School, where my two little ones go, it's their fall festival, and it's the cutest thing ever. And then right after that is Northern and Grimsley, two undefeated teams, and the winner is the conference champion. So this is a great, fun night for us.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yep.
I'm just going to participate in some of the A&T homecoming activities. My sister is an alum, so I'm just going to tag along with some of her and her friends, walk the campus, probably go to a couple day parties. So I'm excited about it.
Had you come here for that before because your sister?
So when I was in high school, my sister was an undergrad and she was in the parade. She was Miss Pink Tea Rose with the AKA chapter that's there. So we were there to like cheer her on in the parade and stuff. So I'm excited to experience it as an adult. I know it's a little different this year with COVID, but people are still hyped. There's a lot of people at the hotel checking in. You'll see my story in the next half hour about that.
So your sister is also your sorority sister?
Yes, my sister is my sorority sister.
Sister, that's right. Very good.
The legacy is long.
Yes, it goes
in
on.
my family.
All right, we're coming right back. Stay right there. More of the 4 to 5 straight ahead.
Are you talking to me? Oh, okay. Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
We begin with breaking news. West Wendover Avenue eastbound is blocked from West Market Street to West Friendly Avenue while Greensboro police investigate a shooting. Police say it happened just after 3. One person has been taken to the local hospital. No word on their injuries. The road is expected to be closed until further notice, so you may want to expect to take a different route on your way home from work this evening. This is a developing story. As soon as we learn more, we will update you on air and online at WFMYnews2.com.
It's homecoming for North Carolina A&T University alums. They are pumped after last year's in-person festivities were canceled due to COVID-19. I caught up with some of those Aggies about how it feels to be back in Aggieland. A sea of blue and gold at the Sheraton Four Seasons Hotel in Greensboro as North Carolina A&T alums check in for homecoming weekend.
Aggie pride! I see it.
Karen McDonald, class of 93, says it feels good to be back.
Of course, it's not as many people this year as it has been in previous years, but the people that are here, I mean, we haven't seen each other in like 2 years.
Due to COVID-19, last year's homecoming activities were put on hold, which alums say make this year's events extra special.
There's been so many classmates and friends that we've lost since the last time we've all been together. So to me, it's the opportunity to, live life to the fullest, get to see each other again, and, we don't know if we'll see each other next year.
The Alma Spate class of 53 hasn't missed a homecoming in 60 years. She says homecoming is more than just tailgates and step shows.
We don't come together just to have fun, because I'm just leaving the Chancellor's Roundtable, where we're talking about the future of North Carolina A&T as an HBCU, and we're #1. And homecoming gives us an opportunity not only to brag about it, but to get ready to let us know how to stay #1.
With several events planned for the weekend, school leaders say safety is a top priority.
We want to make sure that everyone has a safe and enjoyable time, safe and healthy, so that next year everybody come back and fingers crossed, 2022 will be bigger and better.
Tonight is the university's homecoming step show. For a list of events, just visit our website. So lots of fun happening in Greensboro this weekend.
It is, if you go downtown during homecoming in Elm Street, it's packed with A&T.
Yeah.
All the fans are there, all the alums and everything. And it really changes downtown into like the biggest party it's ever seen.
Do you think this year might be a little different
Yeah,
with all the
maybe.
COVID protocols? Because a lot of the events on campus, like you can't walk on the yard in certain places and things like that, it might be a little different. I wonder if it's going to be as crowded.
Yeah, it might. Or then again, the flip side of that is what if people can go to the downtown so they don't have to worry as much about that? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's a big party. No doubt.
And I think people are just happy that it's back, you know, and that spirit is back and everyone's just excited. And I went to a pep rally, it was before COVID, for GHO. Oh my gosh, I had the time of my life. It was so much fun.
It is, and I love, because Stacey, you probably did these too. We do live shots for the Good Morning Show.
Yes, that's what I did.
Yep, and it's just, it's a party even at 6 in the morning.
A lot of people are going to be shouting Aggie Pride this weekend.
That's right.
That is right. Well, continuing with some sports news, the Atlanta Braves are back in the World Series and the Tomahawk Chop debate is once again at home plate. If you've never seen it before, fans celebrate with what's called the Tomahawk Chop, where they take their hand and act like they're chopping with it. Major League Baseball commissioner, who previously defended the Braves' name and fan celebration, but the National Congress of American Indians said they oppose both the team mascot and tradition. The NCAI said the ritual is offensive to Native people. The vice chairman of the Georgia Council on American Indian Concerns said there has not been any pushback by local tribes because of the gesture. The vice chairman added the Tomahawk Chop is done in big moments and brings a crowd together in a positive way. So I know a lot of people have different opinions on this. Go ahead and weigh in on Facebook and let us know what you think. Interestingly enough, my school, Arkansas State University, we used to be the Indians, and we actually did the Tomahawk Chop until obviously the NCAA had us change our name. So the same kind of things going on here. We'll be interested to see what happens.
Well, and Florida State does it, and I know that, or at least for the last time I heard this, that the Seminole Indian Nation down there, they're proud that their name is used for that college. So I don't know, it makes you wonder, can they still do that? If to me, you ask the people that you're worried about, ask the the Indian Nation and tell us whether this is offensive or not.
I know they were saying some of the local people were saying they weren't as offended, but I think in these situations, if anybody is offended, it is something you just want to relook and they might have to look into because, you know, it's one thing to be like, oh, you're not sad. Like telling someone, oh, you're not sad when they could actually be sad. You know, I'm just trying to make a comparison here, but.
Well, you have to go to the source.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what it's all about. All right, so more news for you right now. PETA wants to change a traditional name used in baseball as well. Yeah, this is interesting. So the term bullpen. A bullpen is where a pitcher and a catcher warm up before taking the field, but PETA says there's a grim definition of this term. They say that it refers to an area where bulls are held before they're slaughtered.
PETA proposed on its Twitter page the baseball field location be changed to Arm Barn. They even changed their Twitter name to Arm Barn.
So this one, I mean, when I first read this, I went, really? Like, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was shocked. First of all, you could come up with something better than Arm Barn. I gotta tell you.
I mean, it makes sense though, because they're warming up, right?
It does, I get it. But I honestly did not know that's what a bullpen was. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either till I heard this and did some research on it.
I don't know.
I know, me too.
And it's that sensitivity factor again, because if there is a group that's, you know, offended by it, do we shut them out?
But at some point, I feel like you have to. I think there's things I could bring up that I would be offended with that somebody go, wait, what? You're offended with that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So sometimes I think we get so caught up in minutia that we can't see. We have a lot bigger problems than the baseball field area called a bullpen. That's just my personal opinion.
I agree with you. I think there are bigger fish to fry out there. And I mean, I guess I could see if it was like offensive to, I don't know, in my opinion, like dogs or something, but it's just a bull. I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
That's what I'm saying.
And
It's
baseball's been around for what, 100, 200 years or something? It's like one of the oldest sports.
But just because something has been around a long time doesn't mean that it's always right. I'm just keeping an open mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings or anything.
Not out to do that, but.
What do you think? Let us know on Facebook.
This is tough.
You can say what you want to. So you do that. All right, let's talk about our forecast for you real quick, because we do see some things starting to change for us. And really, I guess the biggest factor would be the fact that we see the rain finally tapering off. Now, it may take a day or so for that to happen. I think we'll still see a chance of a scattered shower. We'll show you the radar in a minute, even through tomorrow. But Sunday, Halloween, we clear up just in time. It's perfect for trick-or-treaters out there. Right now, we're looking at temperatures probably getting to the 50s, in the next couple of hours or so. So by 7 o'clock, that's a 58-degree reading. 53 by midnight, 52. Notice how we're not dropping super fast, but still, we may see some mid to upper 40s by early tomorrow morning, and that's fairly significant because that really feels more like a fall day. Notice that counterclockwise rotation here, the center of circulation where the low is, that's a little bit more to the north, but all that moisture that wraps around the backside of that low pressure kind of ends up streaming across the area. But look how spotty it is. So some of you may see absolutely no rain. Others may get a light shower or two here or there, and we'll watch for that as well. Just know that the rain will start to taper down a little bit by tomorrow, and then Sunday looks great. Temperatures in the 60s and some upper 50s there as well.
All right, the top two questions everyone's asking for Halloween. Here they are. What kind of candy are you giving out? And what are you going to be for Halloween? All right, let's start, friends, with the candy. What kind of candy are you giving out, or what kind is your favorite to get?
I like the big chocolate bars, like
of
course, rather than the just fun size ones. I like the big chocolate bars.
Okay.
I love the candy corn. I've just been snacking on it.
I like candy corn too.
And Tanya, that's a love-hate thing, isn't it?
It is.
Some people hate. I love candy corn.
It's a big debate.
I like it. I'm excited for it to be on sale.
I heard someone the other day said that he hated candy corn, and he said that I think they made all the candy corn in 1914. And people just, because you only eat like 3 or 4 and then it's too rich and you stop. He said, I don't think they've made any since 1914.
We might have to fact check that.
Yes.
Now let's check what we think compares to what maybe the nation thinks, right? In the top 10 Halloween candy in the U.S., Reese's Cups ranks #1. But then the rest of the top 10 really surprised me. There's only 4 out of 10 that are chocolate. M&M's, Hershey Kisses, Snickers. So the ones that you mentioned are on there. The rest are candy like Skittles, Starburst, Hot Tamales, Sour Patch Kids, Tootsie Pops, and of course, that candy corn that you just said. Interesting. So what are your thoughts when you see that list?
I'm not too surprised, actually. Reese's Cups, I can see why that's #1.
Sure.
But I am surprised that candy corn is at the bottom of the list.
I am too.
I would have thought that would have been a little higher.
I feel like that's the traditional Halloween candy.
See, and that's funny because I was like, why are they even in the top 10?
Come on now.
Hey,
Okay. All right, let's get to costumes. Are you a fan of dressing up?
love it.
100%.
Yep.
Oh, everybody's in agreement. Okay, because there's actually some psychology about dressing up. According to fashionpsychology.com, wearing clothes that are not in your normal everyday act as a symbol of leaving behind life for just a little while, like escaping, even if it's just for a few hours. Studies have shown people have fun simply by engaging in wearing outlandish or eccentric outfits, which contributes to that feeling of escapism. What do you think?
I think that's true. I think there's something to that because you like, it's just a way you can be totally different. Nobody judges, especially on Halloween. You see the craziest costumes. I love that.
I do think though that sometimes people don't like to dress up because they don't feel like they don't know what they could be.
Oh, that's true.
Or they don't want to put the thought into finding something?
Maybe. Yeah, because I mean, it does take a little while to come up with your bee costume, correct, Stacy?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have all the different elements. My husband's been working on it all day.
So
But
you
I'm
haven't
excited.
been working on it though.
Well, yeah, I haven't.
Okay, so the baby's going to be a bee and you guys are going to be beekeepers, right?
Yes, and our dog is going to be a flower.
See, the whole thing there. All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk some group costumes here because there's all kinds of fun group costumes. Let me show you a few ideas. Last year, with a new puppy with very sharp teeth, we put my Kona in a shark costume. I was the surfer and my husband was the fisherman.
Aww.
Now, I posted our pic on Facebook and got these pics from viewers, the Scooby-Doo group. This is super fun, and you could probably
that's
use
awesome.
things from your closet.
Mystery machine.
I love it. The next one is a very cute family on the baby shark craze. There's mommy and daddy shark, and of course their little baby shark. All right, and you all remember Grant Gilmore, Liz Crawford. Of course, they love the theming. Over the years, they've been Disney's Mickey and Minnie. This past year, they were like a cat family, right? But my favorite of theirs is this one right here.
That's
The
precious.
characters from A League of Their Own. So happy Halloween, friends. Hope there's more treats than tricks for you.
We want to get back to some breaking news. West Wendover Avenue eastbound is blocked from West Market Street to West Friendly Avenue. You're taking a look at live pictures right now. Greensboro police are investigating a shooting there. Police say it happened around 3. One person was taken to a local hospital. We have no word on their injuries. Now that road is expected to be closed until further notice, so you may want to make a different route home this evening. Again, this is a developing story. Police are investigating a shooting there. And as we learn more information, we will update you on air and online at WFMYnews2.com.
All right, so if you're a Broadway fan, then you probably know that Beautiful, the Carole King story, is coming to the Tanger Center. So I spoke to one of the lead actors there, Ryan Farnsworth, about the play. He says part of the plot is simply a rivalry story between two couples that most people never knew about until the play was written.
But it also covers all of her early years from the time she's 16 years old onwards, and when she wrote some really amazing tunes for great Motown performers and rock and roll performers, along with her husband, Jerry Goffin. And Jerry Goffin wrote lyrics and she wrote music. At the same time, they had sort of a friendly rivalry with their two best friends who worked at the same place, Barry Mann, who wrote music, and Cynthia Weil, who wrote lyrics, who are also a couple. So it kind of follows these two couples, and they go back and forth ping-ponging with writing some of the big hits of the 60s and 70s.
So this next story that he told, I couldn't believe. So you have to think about what great play doesn't have a few of those aha moments. But he says these moments are nostalgic and they might surprise you.
One of the most exciting parts of the play, the first time you see it, is she'll start doing a song and the audience will audibly gasp as they realize, no way, I had no idea that Carole King wrote The Locomotion. I had no idea that Carole King wrote Up on the Roof. Like, these are some really, they're like mind-blowing moments. I mean, everyone knows Tapestry and all the great tunes from Tapestry, but she wrote all this music for these other artists originally and sort of ended up having to do it herself when she started writing some new tunes. And this story really covers that part of her life beautifully.
So we wanted to have some fun with this, and I asked you on Facebook, tell me the name of a play. If you could write one about your hometown, what would the name be? Here's what you said. The answers are short and sweet here. But Joan says Little Peyton Place. If you don't know what that is, that was a kind of a saucy little soap opera type thing way back in the day. So I'm not sure where Joan lives. Angie Lee says barbecue, barbecue everywhere. That's probably Lexington. Teresa said Small Town America would be the name of her town. Dwayne Young said Country Living. And Sylvia Fairclough said Tobacco Road. That was a reference for this part of North Carolina for years. And Linda Carroll must love where she lives because she says Lucky Lives that we have there. Yeah,
some good names.
So getting back to Ryan, when speaking with him, it was interesting that he said even when I did the play, because this is the second time he's done it on a national tour, and he said that the first time I was like, wait, she wrote a song for Aretha Franklin. She wrote, you know, all those others he named, and he says you can hear the audience go, whoa, or no way, when you hear all the stuff she wrote, you had no idea.
Learning all of that makes me even more eager to go out and see the play because I did not know that until I heard those sound bites.
That's like when I saw Jersey Boys. I didn't realize the number of hits that Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons had until I was like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that one too. Like I thought I knew 3 or 4, but there's like 12 or 15 that were hits.
So they're singing those songs in the play?
Yes.
So the audience is probably like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I know that
right.
one. I know that one.
There is nothing like watching a Broadway show.
That's true.
I mean, I absolutely love music. I grew up in theater, so sitting there and watching that live, you just get so many chills, and it's just, oh, I can't wait.
Can you imagine? Because all of us did theater,
Yeah.
right? You did? Yeah, I did too. I was huge into that as a kid, like 35 plays. And I can't imagine what it feels like to be on a Broadway stage with an audience of that size, with a full orchestra and those
And just the
sets.
costumes, all of that. It just looks so real.
Talk about costumes.
fun.
Now I got to go back to a Halloween costume. And we just
After we saw those amazing costumes in that video.
horrible. All right, we're coming right back. Stay there.
Get this, a man found $500 in a book he bought for only 50 cents. A woman shared a tweet online saying her son purchased the book at a Goodwill store. When he made it home, he found the $500 tucked in the pages. She said her son wants to keep the money, but he asked Twitter what others would do. Shelly Gilly says go back to the Goodwill store and let the manager know there was a lot of cash in the book. Don't know how much, just something vague. If the money is not claimed in 30 days, it's yours. If it's claimed, the person should be able to state the amount, then it's his. Another user said to wonder if it was purposely placed in the book by the donator, thinking if they're shopping in Goodwill, maybe they could use a little boost.
I like that part. I like that story. That sounds good. That could have happened. I had a cousin who found British money in a book once, which he thought was really, and it was the same thing. It was like it wasn't Goodwill, but it was some thrift shop, and he'd bought a bunch of books just to kind of prop up and use, like, you know how you want it to look cool on a shelf, but you're not really buying them to read them. And he said it fell out, and it was just some pounds.
Makes me feel like I should check my books before I donate them, but who just puts $500 in a book?
Yeah.
As a bookmark.
As a placeholder?
I don't know. I think about my grandmother. She hides money, like cash, everywhere in her house. My mom finds it, and Mom's like, why'd you hide it there? She's like, well, just so I would know. But like, if you did that and you didn't tell your family, and if you passed away and then they donated it, how would you ever know?
But $500?
I know.
I'm not placing that in.
No, I'm not either.
My dad said when my grandfather passed away, they found mason jars of money, not buried outside, but in his closet floor. Like, because he was old enough that he would have been living through the Great Depression. So he didn't trust banks as much. So he always had some, but we never knew that until he passed away.
Very interesting.
I don't know.
So should he keep it?
Gosh, that's a hard one.
I mean, could they trace
Like
it back to
the
whoever?
angel and the devil?
I know,
like,
that's true. So true.
You should find out whose it was, and then
Keep
no,
the
you
money.
should keep it.
Keep the money. That's what's up. All right, you weigh in on Facebook. We'll be back.
Tomorrow, Aggie football will take on the Monmouth House.
Oh, I always stand up. It's like, yeah, as long as you don't block their shot. Well, after
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I had taken my IFB.
Hey, I'm still putting it on.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island.
How did I know you bring that up? If someone's going to bring that up, it was going to be...
I'm sorry, not sorry.
Don't.
Callie, you were not kidding. Good thing I packed my contacts because this W, I forget how far it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hi, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check.
Hello, we are here 1, 2, 3 Friday afternoon, Friday football, all that stuff.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents. Halloween, right around the corner, so I went scrounging around through the internet to find some cool viral costumes, and boy, did people get creative this year. Thanks to BuzzFeed, they had about 40 different viral costumes. Take a look at some of these, my favorites here. How about this one? Instead of Optimus Prime, it's Amazon Prime. He used Amazon boxes, and he won his office contest. Good for you. This may be my all-time favorite, Burt Reynolds, but Burt as in Ernie and Bert. It's a combo between Sesame Street and the actor Burt Reynolds. I can actually see both. That is hilarious. This guy just simply went as fire. Do you even see him in the shot? He stuffed himself in the fireplace there. He's all yellow and reds and oranges. You might as well take advantage of your dog's looks if you can. This pug went as E.T. with his owner as Elliot back behind him. Now this guy's just a dead ringer, right? Steve Jobs. That is not Steve Jobs. That is a guy dressed up like him, and he went to an Apple store to see what people would say. So funny. And then of course, because of my profession, this may be my favorite here. This weatherman went in front of a green screen with a green suit on, except for his head, and then taped, or whatever he did, attached the skeleton to the green. So if you look on the right corner of that, you can see it looks like a skeleton with his head floating around. Bravo, excellent job. I can't wait for Halloween. I still don't have a costume yet, but this is why I did this. Now I know. Look for Eric the Skeleton to show up in a weathercast near you. And that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We are on top of breaking news right now out of Greensboro on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock. Greensboro police are investigating a shooting on a heavily traveled road during rush hour. West Wendover Avenue is closed from West Market Street to West Friendly Avenue. This is a live look at the scene. You just saw some police crews